My name is Cassandra Mitchell. I'm 22 years old. 4 years ago, on my 18th birthday, I sat in a lawyer's office in Tacoma, Washington, and secured my $850,000 inheritance in an irrevocable trust that only I could access. I went home, had cake with my mother, opened presents, went to bed feeling safe. The next morning, my mother walked into my room with coffee and a smile, sat on the edge of my bed, and said in the sweetest voice I'd ever heard, "Sweetheart, I've been thinking we should make your trust a joint account. It's safer that way, just in case something happens to you." My blood ran cold, not because of what she said, but because I'd heard her on the phone the night before, after I was supposed to be asleep, telling someone, "Don't worry, I'll have access to it by the end of the week. She trusts me. She's my daughter. She'll do what I ask." Before I tell you what I did next, let me take you back to the day my father died, and the moment I learned that not everyone who says they love you actually does. Before I go any further, if this story means something to you, please take a moment to like and subscribe. But only if you genuinely connect with it, and drop a comment telling me where you're watching from and what time it is right now. I want to know where you are. Now, let me take you back to October 2016. I was 6 years old. My father, James Mitchell, was driving home from work on a Tuesday evening when a drunk driver ran a red light on Pacific Avenue in Tacoma. The impact killed him instantly. I remember my mother's scream when the police knocked on her door. I remember Aunt Diane, my father's older sister, holding me in the kitchen while my mother collapsed on the living room floor. I remember not understanding why everyone was crying, why my father wasn't coming home, why the world had suddenly gone quiet and strange. My father was 32 years old. He worked as an engineer at a manufacturing company in Puyallup. He had a life insurance policy through his employer, $200,000. He had savings, $150,000. And he owned our house outright, a 3-bedroom ranch in a modest neighborhood near Titlow Park, worth about $280,000 at the time. He left behind an estate worth approximately $630,000. For a 6-year-old who didn't understand money, that meant nothing. For my mother, Linda Mitchell, age 38, suddenly widowed with a young daughter, it meant everything. My grandfather, Robert Mitchell Sr., my father's father, flew in from Spokane the day after the accident. He was 68 years old, a retired accountant, and a man who didn't waste words. I remember him sitting at our kitchen table with my mother 3 days after the funeral, going over paperwork. I was coloring in the next room, but I could hear every word. "Linda, James left everything to you and Cassie. The life insurance, the savings, the house. But I'm going to do something else." His voice was calm even. "I'm setting up an irrevocable trust for Cassie. $200,000 from the life insurance goes into it. She gets access when she turns 18. You can't touch it. No one can." My mother's voice was tight. "That's half the life insurance, Robert. I need that money to raise her. You have the other $200,000, the savings, and a house with no mortgage. That's more than enough if you're careful." "If I'm careful? I just lost my husband." "I know, and I'm sorry, but this is for Cassie's future. James would have wanted it." There was a long silence. Then my mother said very quietly, "Fine, do what you want." That was the first time I heard the edge in her voice, the tone that said one thing while meaning another. I didn't understand it then. I would later. My grandfather set up the trust within a month. $200,000, held by a trustee, Patricia Caldwell, a lawyer in Spokane who'd handled my grandfather's affairs for 20 years. The trust was designed to grow. By the time I turned 18, with careful investments, it would be worth significantly more. For the first year after my father died, life seemed normal. My mother cried a lot. We stayed in the house, and Diane visited every weekend. My grandfather called every Sunday and visited once a month, always taking me out for ice cream and asking how I was doing in school. He never asked about my mother. I thought that was strange, but I was 7. I didn't ask why. Then, in the summer of 2018, when I was 8, my mother sat me down at the kitchen table and told me we were moving. "The house has too many memories, sweetheart. I think it's time for a fresh start." but I like this house. Dad's here. Dad's not here anymore, Cassie, and we need to move forward. She sold the house for $295,000. She told me we were downsizing to save money. We moved into a 2-bedroom apartment in a complex off South Tacoma Way. The rent was $1,200 a month. The house had been paid off. No mortgage. No housing payment. Now we had rent. I was 8. I didn't understand why that was a bad trade. But my grandfather did. He called my mother the week we moved. I answered the phone. "Hi, Papa." "Hi, sweetheart. Can I talk to your mom?" I handed her the phone. She took it into her bedroom and closed the door, but I could still hear her voice rising. "It's my decision, Robert. I'm her mother. I know what's best." Silence while he spoke. "I don't have to explain my finances to you." More silence. "The trust is fine. Cassie will get it when she's 18. Until then, I'm raising her my way." She hung up. When she came out, her face was red and her jaw was tight. She didn't look at me. She just went to her room and closed the door. That was the beginning of the pattern. My mother made decisions. My grandfather questioned them. My mother got angry. And I learned to stay quiet and watch. By the time I was 10, I'd started noticing things. Bills on the kitchen counter marked "past due" in red letters. My mother on the phone with credit card companies, her voice sharp and defensive. Envelopes from the apartment complex office slipped under our door with eviction notice printed at the top. My mother would find them, rip them up, and throw them away without saying a word. I asked her once, standing in the kitchen while she made dinner, "Mom, are we okay?" I saw a letter that said eviction. She didn't turn around. "We're fine, Cassie. Don't worry about things you don't understand." "But," I said, "we're fine." Her tone told me not to ask again. So I didn't. But I kept noticing. And I kept quiet. When I was 12, my mother started dating. His name was Roger. He was 43, charming, with a wide smile and an easy laugh. He worked in business development, which I later learned meant he had no steady job and a lot of failed ventures. He started spending weekends at our apartment. Then weeknights. Then he just never left. Roger was nice to me at first. He brought me books. He asked about school. He made my mother laugh in a way I hadn't heard since my father died. I wanted to like him. I tried to like him. But there was something about the way he looked at things in our apartment, the way his eyes would linger on my mother's purse, the way he'd ask casual questions about money that didn't feel casual. "So, Cassie, your mom says you've got a trust fund. That's pretty cool. When do you get access to that?" "When I'm 18. How much is in there?" My mother cut in. "Roger, that's not appropriate." He laughed. "Just curious. No harm in asking." But he asked again, and again, and every time my mother would redirect the conversation, and I'd see the flash of annoyance in Roger's eyes. My grandfather visited less after Roger moved in. When he did visit, he'd take me out alone. We'd go to the waterfront, walk along Ruston Way, and he'd ask me careful questions. "How's your mom doing, Cassie?" "She's okay. She's happy with Roger." "And how are you doing?" "I'm fine, Papa." He'd look at me for a long time, like he was trying to read something in my face. Then he'd nod and buy me ice cream, and we'd talk about school and books and anything but the thing he really wanted to say. I didn't know then that my grandfather was watching, that he was documenting, that every conversation with my mother about money, every decision she made, every red flag he saw, he was filing away, building a case for something I wouldn't understand for years. In the spring of 2022, when I was 16, my grandfather called me directly. Not my mother. "Me, Cassie, I need to tell you something. I'm sick." My stomach dropped. "What kind of sick?" "The kind that doesn't get better. Pancreatic cancer. Stage 4. The doctors are saying 6 months, maybe less." I couldn't speak. My throat closed up. "I'm telling you first because I need you to understand something. I'm updating my will. I'm leaving you an additional $350,000. It's going into your trust. When you turn 18, you'll have access to everything. And I need you to listen very carefully to what I'm about to say. Okay, never let anyone, even family, control what's yours. Especially family. Do you understand me? I think so. No. I need you to really hear me, Cassie. When you turn 18, you're going to have money. And people are going to want it. They're going to tell you it's for your own good. They're going to say it's safer if someone else helps manage it. They're going to use words like joint account and just in case. Don't listen. That money is yours. Your father wanted you to have security. I want you to have freedom. Don't give it away. Papa, are you talking about Mom? A long pause. I'm talking about anyone who asks. Anyone. He died in August 2022. I was 16 years and 4 months old, and Diane held my hand at the funeral. My mother stood beside me, crying into a tissue. Roger stayed in the car. After the service, Patricia Caldwell, the trust attorney, pulled me aside. She was 61, gray-haired, with glasses on a chain and a voice that sounded like she'd spent 40 years in courtrooms. Cassie, your grandfather asked me to give you this when he passed. She handed me a sealed envelope. My name was written on the front in his handwriting. Read it when you're alone. And when you're ready, call me. My number is inside. I opened the envelope that night in my bedroom. Inside was a 2-page letter, handwritten. Cassie, if you're reading this, I'm gone. I'm sorry I can't be there to see you grow up. But I've done everything I can to make sure you're taken care of. Your trust now holds $550,000. With careful management by Patricia, it should grow to around $850,000 by the time you turn 18. That money is yours, no one else's. Not your mother's, not Roger's, not anyone's. I need you to understand something about your mother. I love her because she was your father's choice and she gave me you. But she's not good with money. She never has been. The house your father left was worth $295,000. She sold it and moved you into an apartment. Where did that money go? The life insurance I didn't put in the trust was $200,000. Where did that go? Your father's savings were $150,000. Where did that go? I don't know, Cassie, but it's gone. All of it. And when you turn 18 and that trust becomes accessible, she's going to want it. She's going to ask. She's going to tell you it's for bills, for emergencies, for your future. Don't believe her. Protect what's yours. Patricia will help you. Trust her. I love you, sweetheart. Be smart. Be strong. And don't let anyone make you feel guilty for keeping what our father and I worked to give you. Papa, I read it 3 times. Then I folded it, put it back in the envelope, and hid it in the bottom of my closet inside an old shoebox. The next day, my mother asked me what Patricia had given me. Just a letter from Papa, saying goodbye. Can I read it? It's personal, Mom. Her jaw tightened. I'm your mother, Cassie. I have a right to know what he said. It's just about how much he loved me and how proud he was. That's all. She stared at me for a long moment, then she nodded and walked away. But I knew she didn't believe me, and I knew she wouldn't know what else was in that letter. From that day forward, I started watching my mother the way she didn't know I was watching. I started noticing things I tried not to see. The credit card bills that came in Roger's name forwarded to our address. The calls from bill collectors that she'd take in the bedroom with the door closed. The way she'd check the mail every single day looking for something. The way she'd started asking me casual questions about the trust. So, Cassie, when you turn 18, that trust becomes yours, right? Yeah. And you'll be able to access it? Like, take money out? I think so. I don't really know how it works. We should meet with Patricia before your birthday. Get everything set up. Make sure it's all handled correctly. Okay. Maybe we can set it up so I'm on the account too. Just as a backup. You know, in case something happens. I looked up from my homework. What would happen? I don't know, honey. Car accident, medical emergency, anything. If I'm on the account, I can help if you need it. I'll think about it. Her smile didn't reach her eyes. Of course, no pressure. But there was pressure. Every week, she'd bring it up. Casual, light, just floating the idea. And every week, I'd say I'd think about it. And she'd let it drop. For a while, my 18th birthday was April 15th, 2024. 2 weeks before, Patricia Caldwell called me at school during lunch. "Cassie, it's Patricia. Do you have a minute to talk privately?" I stepped outside into the hallway. "Yeah, I'm alone. What's going on?" "Your mother has called my office 14 times in the last month asking about the trust. She wants to know the exact balance, the distribution terms, and whether she can be added as a co-trustee or joint account holder." My stomach dropped. "What did you tell her?" "Nothing. The trust is yours. I don't discuss it with anyone but you. But I'm concerned." She's persistent, and she's asking very specific questions about how to gain access. Can she? Gain access, I mean. Not legally. The trust is irrevocable. Your grandfather designed it specifically to prevent anyone, including your mother, from accessing or controlling it. But she can make your life difficult. She can pressure you. She can manipulate you. And if you're living under her roof, that pressure can be overwhelming. What should I do? Come see me the day before your birthday. We'll review the documents together. I'll explain exactly what your rights are, what the trust allows, and what your mother can and cannot do. And then on your 18th birthday, we'll finalize everything. Once you sign, the trust is fully active and you are the sole beneficiary with full control. Okay. Cassie, one more thing. When you turn 18, you're an adult, legally. That means you can make your own decisions about where you live, who has access to your information, and how you manage your money. If your mother pressures you, you don't have to comply. Do you understand? I think so. Good. I'll see you April 14th, 10 a.m., my office in Spokane. Can you get here? I'll take the bus. Perfect. And Cassie, your grandfather was a smart man. He knew exactly what he was doing. The day before my 18th birthday, I told my mother I was going to visit a friend in Olympia for the day. Instead, I took a Greyhound bus from Tacoma to Spokane, 3.5 hours. I brought my laptop, my headphones, and my grandfather's letter, which I read one more time before the meeting. Patricia's office was in a brick building downtown, second floor, with a brass nameplate that said Caldwell and Associates, Attorneys at Law. The waiting room smelled like coffee and old books. Patricia met me at the door. "Cassie, come in." Her office was lined with bookshelves and filing cabinets. A large wooden desk sat in front of a window overlooking the street. She gestured to a chair. "Let's go over everything." She pulled out a thick folder. Inside were documents, statements, and records going back to 2016. Your trust currently holds $86,300. Your grandfather's initial contribution was $200,000. My firm has managed the investments conservatively, mostly index funds and bonds. The additional $350,000 your grandfather added in 2022 has been growing as well. Once you turn 18 and sign the final documents, you become the sole beneficiary with full distribution rights. What does that mean? It means you control the money. You can take distributions for education, living expenses, medical costs, anything reasonable. The trust is designed to last you through college and beyond. If you're smart, this money can support you for decades. Can my mother access it? No. Not unless you give her access. And I'm going to be very clear with you, Cassie. Do not give her access. I looked at her. You know what she's going to ask. I know exactly what she's going to ask. And I'm telling you the answer is no. Joint accounts, co-trustees, authorized users, none of it. Your grandfather spent 2 years making this trust bulletproof. He knew exactly who he was protecting you from. He didn't trust her. He didn't trust her with money. And based on what I've seen, he was right. She pulled out another document. These are bank statements from the estate settlement in 2016, After your father died, your mother received $200,000 in life insurance, $150,000 in savings, and $295,000 from the sale of the house. Total, $645,000. Do you know where that money is now? No, neither do I. But I can tell you it's gone. Your mother filed for bankruptcy in 2021. She listed $62,000 in credit card debt, $18,000 in personal loans, and no assets. I felt like I'd been punched in the stomach. She spent all of it in 5 years. Yes. On what? I don't know. But it's gone. And now, the moment you turn 18, she's going to start asking for yours. And you're going to say no. What if she kicks me out? Then you move. You're 18. You're an adult. You can live anywhere you want. You can use trust distributions to rent an apartment, pay for school, support yourself. I don't know how to do that. Patricia leaned forward. Yes, you do. You're smart, Cassie. You've been watching your mother make bad decisions for 12 years. You know what not to do. And I'm here to help you with the rest. We spent the next 2 hours going over every detail. How to request distributions, how to budget, how to protect my information, how to say no and mean it. At the end, Patricia handed me a business card. Call me if she pressures you. Call me if she threatens you. Call me if she threatens you. Call me if you need anything. Your grandfather paid me a retainer specifically to support you through this transition. I'm your lawyer now, not hers. Yours. I took the card. Thank you. Happy early birthday, Cassie. Tomorrow you're free. I took the bus back to Tacoma that evening. I got home around 8 p.m. My mother was in the living room with Roger, watching TV. Where were you all day? Olympia, with Sarah, I told you. You didn't answer your phone. It died. Sorry. She looked at me for a long time. Then she nodded. Tomorrow's your birthday. I'm making your favorite dinner, lasagna. Thanks, Mom. I went to my room, closed the door, and lay on my bed staring at the ceiling. Tomorrow I turned 18. Tomorrow I signed the papers. Tomorrow the trust became mine, and tomorrow my mother was going to ask. The next morning, my mother woke me up early. She was in an unusually good mood. She made pancakes. She put a candle in one and sang, "Happy Birthday." She hugged me tight and told me she loved me. 18 years old. I can't believe it. You're an adult now. Yeah. We should celebrate tonight. Dinner, cake, maybe a movie? Sure. But first, I need you to do something with me today. Just a quick errand. My chest tightened. What kind of errand? I called Patricia Caldwell yesterday. She said you could come sign the final trust papers today. I thought we could drive up together. Make a day of it. I already signed them. She froze. What? I signed them yesterday. I went to Spokane. It's done. Her face changed. Just for a second. A flash of something cold and sharp. Then the smile came back. Oh, I didn't realize. You should have told me. I would have come with you. Patricia said I could do it alone. Of course you could. But I'm your mother. I should have been there. It's fine, Mom. It's handled. She set down the spatula. So, it's official? The trust is yours now? Yeah. And you have full access? Yeah. She smiled. That's wonderful, sweetheart. I'm so proud of you. But her eyes weren't smiling. Her eyes were calculating. That night we had dinner. Lasagna, just like she promised. Roger came over. And Diane stopped by with a present, a gift card to Barnes & Noble, and a hug that lasted a little too long. Call me if you need anything, Cassie. Anything at all. I didn't know why she said it like that. But I nodded. After Diane left, Roger brought out a cake. Chocolate with vanilla frosting. My favorite. We sang. I blew out the candles. I opened presents. My mother gave me a new laptop case and a journal. Roger gave me a Starbucks gift card. It was normal. Almost too normal. At 10 p.m., I told them I was going to bed. I was exhausted. My mother hugged me goodnight. Sleep well, birthday girl. I went to my room, closed the door, and lay in bed with my phone. I scrolled Instagram. I texted a friend. I closed my eyes and tried to sleep. And then I heard voices. My mother and Roger in the kitchen. The walls in our apartment were thin. If I was quiet, I could hear everything. Roger's voice. "So it's done?" she signed. My mother. "Yes. The trust is officially hers." "And how much is in there?" "I don't know the exact amount. Patricia wouldn't tell me, but it's substantial. Robert left her everything. So what's the plan?" My mother's voice dropped. "I'll talk to her tomorrow." Ease into it. Suggest that we make it a joint account, just for safety. You think she'll go for it? She's 18, Roger. She doesn't know anything about managing money. I'm her mother. She'll listen to me. And if she doesn't, she will. I raised her. She trusts me. A long pause. We need this, Linda. My guys aren't going to wait forever. I know. Don't worry. I'll have access to it by the end of the week. She'll do what I ask. She's my daughter. I lay in the dark staring at the ceiling, my heart pounding so hard I thought they'd hear it through the wall. She was going to ask. Tomorrow, and she thought I'd say yes. The next morning, April 16th, I woke up to a knock on my bedroom door. "Cassie, you awake?" My mother's voice. Sweet, gentle. "Yeah, I'm up." The door opened. She was holding a cup of coffee. She never brought me coffee in the morning, never. "I made you coffee. Thought we could talk before you leave for school." She sat on the edge of my bed. I sat up, took the coffee, and waited. "Sweetheart, I've been thinking about your trust. That's a lot of money for an 18-year-old to manage alone." "I'm not alone. Patricia is the trustee. She helps me." "I know, but she's in Spokane. I'm here. I'm your mother." "Okay." She reached over and took my hand. Her palm was warm. Her grip was firm. "What if we made the trust a joint account? Just adding my name. That way, if something happens to you or if you need help, I'm already authorized." What would happen to me? Nothing, honey. I'm just saying life is unpredictable. Car accidents, medical emergencies. If you were incapacitated and I wasn't on the account, I couldn't access it to help you. Patricia said the trust has provisions for that. Her smile tightened. "Patricia doesn't live with you. I do. Wouldn't it be easier if I was just on the account?" "It's not about control, Cassie. It's about protecting you." I looked at her. Really looked at her. The woman who'd raised me. Who'd cried at my father's funeral. Who'd packed my lunches and taken me to school and told me she loved me every single day for 18 years. And I saw it. The thing my grandfather had seen. The thing Aunt Diane had tried to warn me about. The desperation hidden under the sweetness. "Let me think about it, Mom." Her grip on my hand tightened. "What's there to think about? I'm your mother. I know. I just need some time." "Time for what? Do you not trust me?" "It's not about trust. Then what is it about?" "Cassie, I've sacrificed everything for you. I raised you alone. I worked 2 jobs when your father died. I gave up dating for years. I gave up my whole life to make sure you were okay. And now you're sitting here telling me you need to think about it." Her voice was rising. The sweetness was cracking. "Mom, do you think I want your money? Is that what this is? You think I'm trying to steal from you?" "I didn't say that." "But that's what you're thinking. That's what Robert told you to think. That I'm some kind of villain." I didn't respond. I couldn't. She stood up. "Fine, think about it, but while you're thinking, remember who's been here for you your whole life. Not Robert, not Patricia. Me." She walked out and closed the door behind her. I sat on my bed, coffee going cold in my hands, and realized something. She was going to keep asking. Every day, every meal, every conversation. until I broke. I called Patricia from school that afternoon, locked in a bathroom stall so no one would hear. She asked, "This morning, joint account. What did you say?" I said I'd think about it. She got angry. Good. Good. You didn't say yes. That's good. Cassie, listen to me. She's going to escalate. Guilt, anger, tears, threats. This is the pattern. Do not give in. What if she kicks me out? Then you move. I'll help you. There are trust distributions available for living expenses. We can get you set up in an apartment, pay your rent, cover your costs. You don't need her permission to be an adult. I'm scared. I know. But you're doing the right thing. That week was hell. My mother brought up the joint account every single day. At breakfast, at dinner, in the car, before bed. Have you thought about it? Still thinking. What's taking so long? I want to make sure I understand everything. There's nothing to understand. It's simple. You add my name. That's it. I need to talk to Patricia first. Why? Don't you trust me? Mom, please. Please. What? Please stop caring about your future. Please stop trying to protect you. Roger started getting involved. Casual comments over dinner. You know, Cassie, your mom's really good with money. You should listen to her. I wanted to laugh. My mother, who'd burned through $645,000 in 5 years, was good with money. On April 22nd, 1 week after my birthday, I started looking for evidence. I needed to know if what my grandfather had said was true. I needed to see it for myself. I waited until my mother went to the grocery store. Then I went into her bedroom. Her desk was cluttered with papers, bills, receipts. I started sorting. Credit card statements. Chase, $14,000 balance. Discover, $9,000. Capital One, $12,000. Store cards, medical bills, personal loans. Total debt, $47,000. And then I found the bank statements. Checking account balance, $340. Savings account balance, $347. I sat on her bedroom floor holding those papers, and I understood. She had nothing. Everything my father had left her, everything she'd been given to raise me and build a life, was gone. And now she was drowning, and she saw my trust as a lifeline. But it wasn't hers to grab. I called Aunt Diane that night. Cassie, everything okay? No. Can we talk in person? Of course. When? Tomorrow after school? I'll pick you up. Diane took me to a coffee shop in downtown Tacoma. We sat in a corner booth and I told her everything. The joint account request, the pressure, the debt I'd found. Diane's face went hard. Your mother burnt through the house money in 3 years. All of it. I tried to talk to her. She told me to mind my business. Where did it go? I don't know. But I can guess. Roger has gambling debts. He's been banned from 2 casinos in the state. Your mother's been bailing him out. My stomach turned. How much does he owe? I've heard numbers between $60,000 and $80,000, but I can't confirm it. So she needs my money to pay his debts. Probably. And if she gets access to your trust, Cassie, it'll be gone within a year. Maybe less. What do I do? You say no. And you keep saying no. And if she makes your life hell, you move out. You're 18. You can leave. She's my mother. I know, honey. But being a mother doesn't give her the right to your inheritance. Your father left that money for you, not her. You. On April 28th, 12 days after my birthday, my mother called a family meeting. She, Roger, and I sat at the kitchen table. It was 7 p.m. on a Thursday. I had homework. I wanted to be anywhere else. Cassie, we need to settle this. Tonight. I looked at her. Settle what? The trust. Roger and I have talked about it. We've decided you need to add me to the account by Monday. We've decided? Yes. It's my trust, Mom, and you're my daughter. This is a family decision. Roger leaned forward. Look, kid, your mom knows best. She's been managing money longer than you've been alive. It's the smart thing to do. I looked at him, really looked at him. Have you ever managed money, Roger? He blinked. What? You heard me. Have you ever successfully managed money? Or are you the one with $80,000 in gambling debts? His face went red. My mother stood up. Cassie, that's enough. No, I'm done. I'm not adding anyone to my trust. Not you, not Roger. No one. Excuse me, the trust is mine. It's irrevocable. Patricia explained everything. You can't access it. You can't control it. It's mine. My mother's mask dropped. Completely. After everything I've done for you, after I raised you alone, after I sacrificed my entire life. You didn't raise me alone. Dad left you $645,000 to help. Where is it, Mom? Silence. Where's the house money? Where's the life insurance? Where's the savings? Where did it all go? She didn't answer. I found your bank statements. I found the debt. I know everything. Her face went white, then red, then something I'd never seen before. Pure rage. Get out. What? Get out of my house. Mom, you want to keep your precious money? Fine, keep it, but you don't get to live here and judge me and throw your father's death in my face. Get out. I stood up. My hands were shaking. Okay. I'll pack tonight. I'll be gone by morning. I walked to my room. My mother didn't follow. Roger didn't say a word. I called Aunt Diane. She kicked me out. I'm on my way. Diane arrived at 9 p.m. with her truck. We packed my room in under an hour. Clothes, books, laptop, toiletries, the wooden box with my grandfather's letter. Everything that mattered fit in 4 boxes and 2 suitcases. My mother stayed in her bedroom with the door closed. She didn't say goodbye. I moved into Diane's guest room that night. She lived in a small house in Puyallup, 20 minutes from Tacoma. The room had a twin bed, a desk, and a window that looked out at her backyard. You can stay as long as you need, Cassie. No pressure, no rent. Just focus on school and getting your feet under you. Thank you. Your father would be proud of you. You stood up for yourself. I nodded. But I didn't feel proud. I felt hollow. Over the next 2 weeks, my mother called and texted nonstop. The messages cycled between guilt, anger, and fake apologies. I'm sorry I overreacted. Please come home. You're breaking my heart. Fine. Don't come back. See if I care. Your father would be ashamed of you. I didn't respond. Patricia had advised me to document everything but not engage, so I screenshotted every message, saved every voicemail, and stayed silent. In May, my mother tried a different approach. She contacted the bank that held the trust funds. She called them 47 times in 2 weeks, claiming to be my legal guardian and requesting account information. The bank flagged it. Patricia was notified immediately. Cassie, your mother is trying to access the trust through the bank. She's claiming you're mentally incompetent and that she needs emergency access. My stomach dropped. Can she do that? No, but she's trying. I'm sending a cease and desist letter today, and I'm filing a protective order with the court to prevent any further attempts. Will that work? Yes. The trust is ironclad, but she's desperate. Desperate people do reckless things. 2 weeks later, my mother filed a lawsuit. Linda Mitchell versus Cassandra Mitchell and the estate of Robert Mitchell Sr. She claimed undue influence. She argued that my grandfather had manipulated me, that the trust was created under duress, and that she, as my mother, had a right to access the funds for my care. Patricia called me the day she received the filing. Your mother is suing you. For what? For the trust. She's claiming your grandfather coerced you and that she should have control. Can she win? No. But she can make this expensive and ugly. Are you prepared for that? I don't have a choice. Actually, you do. We can settle. Give her a portion. Say $50,000. Make this go away. I thought about it. For exactly 5 seconds. No. Cassie, no. If I give her anything, she'll keep coming back. She'll never stop. I'm not giving her a dollar. Patricia was quiet for a moment. Then she said, Your grandfather would be very proud of you. The case was dismissed in August 2024. 3 months. The judge ruled that the trust was valid, that there was no evidence of coercion, and that my mother had no legal standing to access funds held in an irrevocable trust for an adult beneficiary. The ruling included one line I'll never forget. The plaintiff has provided no credible evidence of harm or incompetence. The trust shall remain under the sole control of the beneficiary. My mother was ordered to pay court costs. She didn't. She filed for bankruptcy the following month. In September 2024, I started college. University of Washington, Seattle campus. Psychology major. I wanted to understand why people do the things they do, why mothers manipulate, why family can be the most dangerous place you've ever lived. I rented a small one-bedroom apartment in the U District with a roommate named Marcus Chen. He was 20, a junior studying computer science, funny and kind, and completely uninterested in my money. We split rent and groceries and became fast friends. The trust paid my tuition, $28,000 a year. It covered my living expenses, $1,500 a month. I worked part-time at the campus library, not because I needed the money, but because I needed the normalcy. I needed to be a regular college student doing regular things. I joined a support group for young adults estranged from their families. It met every Tuesday night in a church basement on Capitol Hill. 12 people, all with different stories, all with the same wound. The first time I shared, I cried so hard I couldn't finish. The group leader, a woman in her 50s named Dr. Ellis, handed me a tissue and said, You're safe here. Take your time. I learned I wasn't alone. I learned that family estrangement is more common than people admit. I learned that protecting yourself isn't selfish. It's survival. My mother didn't stop trying. In October 2024, she showed up at my apartment. I don't know how she got my address. Maybe she followed me from campus. Maybe someone told her. But she knocked on my door at 8:00 p.m. on a Wednesday. I looked through the peephole and saw her standing there, arms crossed, looking older and thinner than I remembered. I didn't open the door. Cassie, I know you're in there. Please. I just want to talk. I called building security. They escorted her out. She didn't come back. In December 2026, 2 years after I'd moved out, I received a letter. Not from my mother directly, but from Aunt Diane, who my mother had used as a messenger. The letter was 3 pages, handwritten. Cassie, I've been in therapy. I understand now what I did wrong. I was drowning financially and I made terrible choices. I put pressure on you that wasn't fair. I'm not asking for money. I just want my daughter back. Can we meet for coffee, just to talk? I miss you. Mom. I read it twice. I showed it to Dr. Ellis at group. What do you think? She asked. I think she sounds genuine. Do you want to see her? Part of me does. And the other part? The other part remembers the phone call. The sweetness the morning after my birthday. The lawsuit. Trust your gut, Cassie. You know her better than anyone. I thought about it for a week. Then I texted Diane. Tell her I'll meet her. Public place. 1 hour. We met at a Starbucks in Federal Way, halfway between Seattle and Tacoma. Neutral ground. I arrived early and sat facing the door. My mother walked in at exactly 2 p.m. She looked older, grayer, tired. She saw me and her face crumpled. Cassie. She sat down. She didn't try to hug me. She just sat and looked at me like she couldn't believe I was real. Thank you for coming. You said you wanted to talk. I did. I do. She folded her hands on the table. I owe you an apology. A real one. What I did to you after your birthday was wrong. I was desperate, and I took it out on you, and that wasn't fair. Okay, I've been in therapy for a year. I'm working on myself, understanding why I made the choices I made, understanding my relationship with money, with control. How's that going? It's hard, but I'm trying. We talked for an hour. She told me about therapy, about leaving Roger, about getting a new job as a bookkeeper at a small firm in Tacoma, about moving into a one-bedroom apartment she could actually afford. She didn't ask about the trust. She didn't ask about my life in detail. She just talked about herself, her progress, her realizations. At the end, she looked at me and said, I don't expect you to forgive me. I just wanted you to know I'm trying to be better. Okay, can we do this again? Maybe next month? I hesitated. Let me think about it. Of course, take your time. She stood to leave. Then she turned back. I'm proud of you, Cassie, for standing up to me, for protecting yourself. I hated it at the time, but I'm proud. I nodded. I didn't trust my voice. She left. I sat in that Starbucks for another 30 minutes, staring at my coffee, trying to figure out what I felt. For the next 3 weeks, we texted. Short messages. How are you? Good, you? Normal. Surface level. Safe. And then 3 weeks after the coffee meeting, she asked, Cassie, I hate to do this, but I'm in a bind. My car broke down and I need $5,000 for repairs. I know I said I wouldn't ask, but I'm desperate. I'll pay you back, I promise. I stared at the message for a long time. Then I typed no. 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. Are you serious? It's $5,000. You have almost $1 million. I'm not giving you money, Mom. So that's it? You're going to watch me suffer? You said you didn't want my money. You said you just wanted me back. I need help, Cassie. That's what family does. They help each other. Goodbye, Mom. I blocked her number. I deleted the text thread. I didn't cry. Doctored her mom. Ellis asked me about it the next week at group. How do you feel? Relieved and sad. But mostly relieved. Why sad? 'Cause I wanted to believe her. I wanted the therapy and the apologies to be real. But it was just another version of the same thing. Another manipulation. Just dressed up nicer. Do you regret meeting her? No. I needed to see it for myself. To know that I wasn't the problem. You were never the problem, Cassie. That was 2 years ago. I'm 22 now. I'm a senior at the University of Washington, graduating in June with a degree in psychology. I've been accepted into a master's program for clinical counseling. I want to work with young adults dealing with family trauma. I want to help people recognize manipulation before it destroys them. The trust has grown to $920,000. I've used it carefully. Tuition, rent, living expenses. I save $1,000 a month in an emergency fund. I've started a small scholarship fund, $10,000 a year, for children of single parents who've lost a parent. It's named after my father, the James Mitchell Memorial Scholarship. I volunteer at a nonprofit that teaches financial literacy to teenagers. I teach them about budgeting, saving, protecting their information. I tell them without going into detail that I learned these lessons the hard way. That family isn't always safe. That money brings out the truth in people. My mother sends me birthday cards every year. I don't open them. They go straight into the recycling bin. Aunt Diane tells me she's still in Tacoma, still working, still struggling financially. Roger is long gone. She's alone now. Part of me feels guilty. The part that's still 6 years old and wants my mother to love me without conditions. But the rest of me knows better. I'm sitting in my apartment right now. It's a Sunday afternoon in April 2028. Marcus is in the living room playing video games. My boyfriend Eric is coming over for dinner. We're making pasta. Normal things, good things. There's an envelope on my desk. My mother's handwriting. It arrived yesterday. I haven't opened it. I won't, because I already know what it says. Some version of I need help, or I miss you, or please give me another chance. The words change. The ask stays the same. Eric walks into my room. You gonna open that? No. You sure? Yeah. I already know what it says. I pick up the envelope and drop it into the recycling bin next to my desk. It lands on top of 3 others from the past 6 months, all unopened. Let's make dinner, I say. And we do. And it's good. And I'm okay. If you're still here, I want to ask you something. Have you ever had a parent or family member who loved the idea of what you could give them more than they loved you? Someone who saw you as a resource instead of a person? Someone who used words like family and trust and just in case to manipulate you into giving up something that was yours? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one. You're not alone in this, because here's what I learned. Protecting yourself isn't selfish. Setting boundaries isn't cruel. And saying no to someone who only says I love you when they want something from you isn't abandonment. It's survival. My grandfather saw it coming. He built a wall around my future because he knew my mother couldn't be trusted with it. And he was right. The trust he created didn't just protect my money. It protected my ability to say no, my ability to walk away, my ability to choose myself. And that's worth more than $850,000. That's worth everything. If this story reminded you that you don't owe anyone access to what's yours, not your money, not your time, not your future, hit that subscribe button. Drop a like if you believe boundaries are a form of self-respect, and if you know someone who's being pressured by family to share money that's legally theirs, send them this video. Sometimes you need to hear from a stranger that it's okay to say no, that you're not selfish, that you're not cruel, that you're just finally choosing yourself. There's another story in the description about a woman who had to choose between family loyalty and her own survival. I think you'll find it familiar. Thank you for listening. My name is Cassandra Mitchell. I'm 22 years old, and I'm finally free.